Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John, filming from the billion-dollar bunker. Of course, thank you very much for being here this morning. Let's talk about the crash, shall we? Not the excellent and very underrated Gwen Stefani song. Oh no. That was a long time ago, and I'm feeling old now, and I'm depressed here, son. What is going on? The banking crash that is imminent. It's incoming. It's going to be a monster. We've heard this before, right? I'm aware. I'm self-aware. I'm aware. I'm in the prepping community. I watch other videos. I know how much we've seen this topic pop up. Banking crash incoming. It's over. Economic crash. But look, they're coming soon. All right. And this is based on real estate losses, which we're going to get into. But this is actually coming from the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell. So this is coming from the people that know firsthand. You know, these are the same people that are moving the rates back and forth, trying to slow inflation. Remember the soft landing that we keep hearing about, or we heard about there for a while. They haven't used those dog whistle words lately, but you know, the soft landing, the economy's it's not crashing, it's a soft landing. Well, now these same people are telling us, again, you can Google it or whatever, whatever, Bing. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is warning people there's an imminent banking crash on the way because so many banks have money tied up into real estate, and there's, currently a real estate crash. How convenient. Especially, he quotes in his article, not the bigger banks, not the top 15 banks, the juggernauts. They're not really going to experience this crash. It's going to be all of the other banks. He says the medium size, like the mid levels, and the smaller banks. And I said, how convenient? Because this lines up with 2030, doesn't it? For those of you that keep up with that kind of thing, I know some of you don't. You just can and freeze dry and go about your day and sew or whatever. But a lot of you out there, I would like to think, are aware of what 2030 is. And it just lines up with 2030. So let's dive in on that. If you don't mind, real quick, hit subscribe. Smash it. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and help the channel grow. I'd appreciate that. So here's the deal. And this is why it's convenient, in my own reasoning here. If you have 5,000 banks and you're trying to control the world via the economy, well, that's kind of hard to do. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to do when you have 5,000 independent banks doing their own thing. It's the same concept as, I believe, the WEF or NATO, bringing everything that you can under a single umbrella and then dictating the rules out. You know what I mean? Micromanaging from the top. Very hard to do with 5,000 plus banks. But what if you can get it down to 50 banks? Becomes a lot easier, right? Better yet, if you're trying to control the planet, and these people are, which we're going to get into that, what if you can get it down to 15 banks? What if you're able to consolidate 5,000 banks into 15 banks by his own admission, the juggernauts, the 15 biggest banks here in the United States? Why is this relevant? Why is this number 15 relevant? If you follow the whole 2030, rabbit hole, it's relevant because the top 15 banks are already signed on to ESG. They're already team players. They've already committed their resources. You look, JP Morgan, for example, you can go to their website. You can pull up, I'm sure, I haven't been there, but I'm sure because all the top 15 here have great ESG scores, which typically means you can go over there. There's going to be a tab or something that you can click. They're going to talk about diversity, inclusion, what they're doing to save the planet, all of this fun stuff. And they're parroting off what they've heard at the WEF conferences, the people that control the planet. for those that don't know. So this is why it's important. Again, not all 5,000, 6,000, whatever the magic number is right now, banks here in the United States are on board with ESG. It would be impossible to get all of the small branches, your community branches and things. It's impossible to get them all on board. But you need all of the banks on board in order to control the money, right? So what do? You consolidate. You manufacture a situation or multiple situations that leads to a banking crash. And then you allow the top 15, your juggernauts, to go in, buy these things up pennies on the dollar, and you consolidate into the top 15. Then you put the top 15 under this umbrella, okay? And that's exactly what's happening. Do y'all remember, if you've been on the channel for a while, because I ranted on this, man, time and again there for the longest time. Do y'all remember when I said, we have the power because we have, the power of spending. We're able to go out and we're able to dictate, which companies stay in business, go out of business. We can punish people with the US dollar. Do y'all remember that? Well, now that weapon, which was one of our greatest weapons, I think, is no longer our weapon. What is happening here, folks, is they are transferring that power from us, the people, the consumers, to themselves. That's what this is all about. You can be one of these individuals if you want to, I guess, that thinks it's all of these are random occurrences taking place that just happen to line up like dominoes, but now it's their weapon. It's too late, I think, to use that to our advantage. You often hear the term in this community, and I've used it, right? You control the food, you control the population. So what does this have to do with consolidating banks down to the top 15? Well, if you control the money, you by default control the food, and then you control the population. You understand what I'm saying? So if I'm a bank and I've got your money, right? I control and I can dictate to you how you're going to spend this money, how much you're going to be able to spend each and every day. If you've reached a limit on buying coffee, God forbid, or tea, know you've bought too much beef this month, I'm going to flag you at the register and you can't do anything about it. You can huff and puff and you can storm into, the number one bank or whoever you're banking with, and you can say, I want to withdraw all my money. But the issue becomes, where are you going to take said money? Because all of the other banks are on board with ESG too. It's going to be the same thing with all of these 15 banks are on board. They're all going to be doing the same thing. They're going to dictate to you how you're going to spend your money, right? If they've determined you don't need a new generator, guess what, son? You're not getting a new generator. That's the way it is, especially if it's gas powered. The boat it's currently sailing right now, and I know there are always going to be those people out there that say they're not going to tell me what to do. They're not going to dictate to me how I'm going to spend my money. Well, that's what you need to understand this morning. Once this transfer of power is complete, it's not your money anymore, right? You may have a little receipt with numbers on it, but your money is long gone. And that's the way it is. So what comes next, right? Digital money. In all digital economy, that's the only thing left. Because right now you can get pissed and you can say, you're not going to tell me I can't buy beef. I want all my money in cash or, whatever. And I'm going to go sit on it like Scrooge McDuck at home, son. I'm going to throw it all in a safe, or I'm going to, turn it into precious metals or something like this. Right now you have that option. Very soon you won't, right? Because cash money is not going to be a thing for very much longer. Sorry if you're brand new to that concept and you think cash money is going to be here. We were just talking about AI the other day, right? AI is implemented pretty much everywhere now. It's only a matter of time before Paper ballots go out the window, like we said the other day, and cash money. There's going to be no use for it. It's too inconvenient. Just like going to the polls and voting. Why would I inconvenience myself? The typical American, not me. I get it. I understand. The typical average Joe or Jane out here. Why would they inconvenience themselves by standing in a line at the polls when they can just do it online? Turn their little ballot into AI. Money's going down the same path, folks. You're getting ready to lose your money, like it or not. And again, there will be those holdouts. Well, I'll never cave. I'll never submit. I've heard that before. I heard that quite a bit during the C-19. And I also heard, and I understand, by the way, I'm not putting these people down. I understand they got kids, they got a mortgage, but they said, hey, I had to take the whiskey shot. I was going to lose my job. I was going to lose my livelihood. I would not have a way to keep a roof over my kid's head to feed my kids. I get it. As a married man, Miss Nation, and we have kids, I totally understand. But what I'm telling you is these people at the top, they have weaponized this, and they're going to use this against you again. And they're going to do it this time around in the form of digital money. What this crash amounts to, folks, that's incoming, that they're telling you in the wide open is incoming, by the way. It's about eliminating alternatives for you, getting rid of smaller community banks and credit unions, getting rid of mid-sized banks and things. And again, slimming it down to 15. Imagine if they took the internet and they narrowed it down to 15 websites. These are the only 15 websites where you can go to get information, to do any kind of shopping, any kind of social media. 15 websites. Your life would be very limited, right? This is what's getting ready to happen to you in real time in the banking sector. Now, they're saying this is because of real estate losses. But again, how convenient. We had a pandemic. This pandemic was lined up, it seems like, just like a domino. And then right behind that, of course, you have global wars that were lined up. So the pandemic, when it fell, it hit the global wars. Now it's falling. Now all of a sudden, we have a housing crisis and a real estate crisis. All these crises are lined up like dominoes. For anybody that doesn't know, AI is now in place. Within a year, as I said the other day, within a year, it's going to be in place 10 times over. It's just going to continue to grow. There's no stopping AI. Some people the other morning left a comment, and I understand the comment. They're like, it's the Antichrist. We need to unplug it. These people are not going to unplug AI. They've been working on this for decades. There's nothing we can do at this point to stop AI. We can wholly embrace it. We can try and resist. It's not going away. It's just not going away. But the problem with AI, they're going to put a lot of things on the backbone of AI and banking, voting, things like this. These are just things that are going to be integrated with AI and not for your advantage would be the way. So digital money is coming soon. And all digital economy is coming very, very soon. That's the next step. After we see this crash and after we see these big banks absorb the smaller banks, they're going to begin to initiate some sort of Fed coin, an all digital dollar. They're going to do away with cash. And I hope you're ready. I hope you understand that's what comes next. And I hope you're very ready for this, because once it happens, again, there's no going back. At that point, there's no stacking money, stacking gold, stacking silver. Everything's going to be digitally tracked via AI. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments if you don't mind. Y'all take care. God bless.